sleek, black luxury car screeches to a violent halt, its headlights cutting through the downpour, illuminating the imposing iron gates. Rafael de la Cruz explodes from the driver's seat. He doesn't bother with an umbrella. His expensive suit is already getting soaked. His face is a mask of pure, unhinged fury. Rafael, screaming at the house. Elena, where are you? Inside, the mansion is eerily silent compared to the storm outside. Elena, no longer in her maid's uniform, but in simple jeans and a dark hoodie, is on her knees in front of a hidden wall panel behind a large painting. The safe inside is open. Her hands are shaking as she pulls out thick stacks of $100 bills and stuffs them into a worn-out backpack. Next, she grabs a velvet box, opens it, and takes out a dazzling diamond necklace, shoving it deep into the bag. Suddenly, Raphael's voice booms from outside, muffled by the rain but clear enough to understand. Her head snaps up, eyes wide with terror. She zips the bag, swings it onto her shoulder, and scrambles to her feet, slipping slightly on the polished marble floor. She doesn't look back as she sprints toward the kitchen and the servants' exit at the back of the house. Elena slowly polished the same section of the mahogany banister for the third time. The mansion was a museum of cold, expensive things. Her mind wasn't on her work. It was on the hospital bill tucked into her apron pocket. The number on it seemed impossible. Donna Esperanza, the head housekeeper, appeared silently. Her shoes clicked on the marble. Elena stopped dawdling. Mr. de la Cruz requires your presence in his study. Immediately. Eleanor's blood ran cold. Mr. de la Cruz? Why? What did I do? Donna's lips tightened into a thin line. He doesn't inform me of his reasons. He only gives orders. Now, go. And try to look presentable. She looked Elena up and down with clear disapproval. Elena nervously smoothed down her simple uniform and walked on unsteady legs toward the west wing of the mansion, a part of the house she only ever cleaned. Raphael's study was a room designed for power. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a massive dark wood desk, and a wall of windows overlooking the city. He stood by the window, his back to her, a silhouette of authority. You wanted to see me, sir? Elena said, her voice barely a whisper. He didn't turn around. Elena, your file makes for interesting reading. He finally turned. He held no file. Your mother's chronic illness. The mortgage on your family home is 3 months behind. The private loan you took out from a man named Marco, who charges extortionate interest. Elena felt the room spin. How could he possibly know all that? Fear clamped around her throat. I can explain, sir. I'll pay it all back, I just need... He cut her off, walking to his desk. The total debt is $127,000. You earn $18,000 a year before tax. Explain to me the math on how you'll pay that back. Elena had no answer. She just stared at the floor, humiliated. I am facing a corporate complication, he continued, his voice cold and analytical. To finalize the largest merger of my career, the board requires me to be seen as a stable, married man. It's an archaic clause, but it's there. He slid a single piece of paper across the desk. It was a contract. I am offering you a business proposition. A 1-year contract of marriage. You will be my wife in public. You will live here, attend events with me, and play the part. In return, the moment you sign, I will transfer enough money to your account to clear every debt your family has. Every single one. He placed an expensive pen on top of the contract. Sign it, and your problems disappear. Walk away, and you can start looking for a new job tomorrow. The choice is yours. Elena sat on the floor of her small, cramped studio apartment. The contract lay in front of her. Her phone rang incessantly. First, it was the hospital, politely but firmly reminding her of the overdue payment. Then, it was her younger brother, his voice panicked. "Elena, that guy Marco was here again. He said if we don't have the money by Friday, he's going to start breaking things." "Our things." She looked at the contract. The words were cold and clinical. The party of the first part, Rafael de la Cruz, agrees to provide financial compensation to the party of the second part, Elena Morales, for services rendered as a marital companion, in social settings only. Tears of shame rolled down her cheeks, but beneath the shame was a steely resolve to save her family. With a hand that slowly stopped shaking, she picked up the pen. She signed her name at the bottom of the page. It was done. 3 days later, Elena stood at the end of a long aisle. She wore a wedding gown that cost more than her mother's life savings. The room was filled with hundreds of the city's most powerful and wealthy people. Their smiles were bright, but their eyes were curious and judgmental. The whispers were like a constant hiss in the background. The maid? Really? Just a business move? Old man de la Cruz's will required it for the merger. She's pretty, for a commoner. I give it a year. Raphael stood at the altar, handsome and impassive. He slid the massive diamond ring onto her finger. It was cold and heavy. He leaned in for the kiss the priest announced. His lips brushed hers, a quick, dry, and utterly empty gesture. As he pulled away, he whispered, his voice low enough for only her to hear, "Remember your place. This is a performance." Elena's smile for the cameras didn't reach her eyes. Her new bedroom was a suite larger than her entire apartment building floor. Everything was pristine, luxurious, and cold. She sat on the edge of the giant bed, still in her wedding dress, feeling utterly alone. She was a prisoner in a palace. Dinners were spent at a table long enough to seat 20, with Raphael at one end and her at the other. They ate in silence, served by staff that included her former colleagues, who now avoided her gaze. One night, unable to sleep, Elena wandered the halls. She heard a faint, muffled sound like a sob. It came from a wing of the house that was always locked. She found the door slightly ajar. Pushing it open quietly, she saw a room frozen in time. A child's nursery. A layer of dust covered a crib, a mobile of stars, and a bookshelf of stuffed animals. In the center of the room, on his knees, was Raphael. He held a faded, well-loved teddy bear against his chest. His shoulders shook with silent, raw grief. This wasn't the ruthless billionaire. This was a man shattered by loss. Elena retreated, her heart pounding. She had seen a secret he never meant for anyone to see. At a high-profile event, an arrogant business rival of Raphael's cornered Elena. "Ah, the new Mrs. de la Cruz," he sneered, looking her up and down. "Tell me, my dear, does the help now eat at the table with the family? Or do you still have to use the back entrance?" Elena flushed with humiliation, speechless. Before she could form a word, Raphael was there. He moved with a predator's grace, sliding his arm possessively around her waist and pulling her close against him. "Carlos." Raphael's voice was like ice, but his grip on Elena was firm, almost protective. "You will apologize to my wife, immediately, or I will pull my investment from your failing company and bankrupt you by morning." The man's face went pale. He stammered an apology and scurried away. Later, in the limo ride home, Elena finally spoke. "You didn't have to do that." Raphael looked out the window. "No one insults what is mine," he stated. But for the first time, the word mine didn't sound like he was talking about a possession. It sounded like he was talking about something he valued. Elena was getting water when Raphael walked in. He looked tired, his tie loosened. It was the first time she'd seen him out of his perfect armor. Couldn't sleep? He asked, his voice quieter than usual. The bed is too big, she admitted. A faint, almost smile touched his lips. I know the feeling. They stood in silence for a moment, a strange, comfortable understanding passing between them. This small moment made Elena's heart flutter with a dangerous hope. Maybe the deal could become real. The next day, filled with this new feeling, she went back to the dusty nursery. She found the old teddy bear he had been holding. She took it, had it professionally cleaned and repaired, and planned to return it to his desk as a silent gesture of understanding. She approached his study, the clean teddy bear in her hand, a small smile on her face. She was about to push the door open when she heard his voice. He was on the phone, his tone brisk and professional. Yes, the merger is finalized. The board is satisfied. The marriage clause has been fulfilled. Of course, the arrangement with the girl has served its purpose. I'll have my lawyer draw up the annulment papers next week. She be compensated, of course, and then she'll be out of my house for good. Elena felt the world drop out from beneath her. The hope in her heart shattered into a million pieces, replaced by a cold, hard ball of betrayal. The cleaned teddy bear fell from her numb fingers and hit the floor with a soft thud. Anger replaced the hurt. If this was just a transaction, then she would take her final payment on her own terms. She waited until she knew he had left for a meeting. She went to his study and went straight to the hidden safe. She had seen him open it once and remembered the code. She took every stack of cash inside. She took the diamond necklace. She was no longer a naive maid. She was a woman collecting what she was owed for a job well done. As she was zipping up the backpack, she heard the unmistakable sound of his car screeching up the driveway. He was home early. Panic surged through her. She grabbed the bag, ran through the kitchen, and burst out the servants' entrance into the stormy night just as she heard the front door slam open and his furious roar echo through the house. Raphael stormed into his study. He immediately saw the open safe, the empty spaces where the cash and jewels had been. A vein throbbed in his temple. Then his eyes fell on his desk. There, sitting perfectly centered, was the old teddy bear, now clean and repaired. And placed neatly beside it was the massive diamond wedding ring she had left behind. He picked up the bear, his anger momentarily replaced by a shock so profound it left him breathless. She knew, and she was gone. Elena was running through the rain, soaked and breathless. She had done it. She was free. A sleek, black sedan with tinted windows pulled up alongside her, matching her pace. The passenger window slid down silently. The man driving the car was Marco. Elena had borrowed money from him to pay her mother's hospital bills before she started working for Raphael. "You're in deep trouble, Elena," Marco said, his voice calm but threatening. "You stole from me. That cash and that necklace? That was my property. You took it without permission. I was going to pay you back." Elena stammered. "Of course you were," Marco said, not believing her. "But now we have a new deal. You work for me. You do one job, and your debt to me is gone. You and your family are safe. You refuse." He tapped the photo of her brother. "And things get ugly." Elena felt sick. "What job?" A slow smile spread across Marco's face. "You're going to go back to that rich boyfriend of yours, and you're going to open his safe for me. Not for a few stacks of cash. For everything inside." Marco took Elena to a dirty motel room. He took the backpack of money and the necklace. "This is just a welcome gift," he said, pocketing it all. "The real score is inside that mansion, and you're my key." "How can I go back?" Elena asked, desperate. "Raphael will call the police the second he sees me." "No, he won't," Marco said. "I've been watching that house. I saw the way he looked at you. He's angry, but he's not done with you. You're going to call him. You're going to cry. You're going to tell him a story about being scared and sorry. And you will beg to come home. He'll say yes." Elena knew it was a huge risk, but Marco showed her the photo of her brother again. She had no choice. Raphael was in his study, still holding the cleaned teddy bear. He was torn between fury and confusion. His phone rang. An unknown number. "Elena?" He answered, his voice tight with anger. "Raphael, please don't hang up." She cried, her voice shaking for real. "I'm so sorry. I was terrified of all of this. The marriage, the pressure. I panicked. I made a horrible mistake." She sobbed down the phone. "I have nothing and no one. Please, can I just come home? I'll return everything. I'll work for free for the rest of my life. I need to come home." Raphael was silent for a long time. He looked at the teddy bear, a gesture of kindness in the middle of her betrayal. "Come home," he finally said, his voice stern. "You will face consequences for what you did. But come home." Elena walked back into the mansion, her heart pounding. Raphael was waiting, his expression unreadable. "The money. The necklace. Now," he demanded. She handed him the almost empty backpack. "I had to use a little for food. I'm sorry." He took the bag, his eyes never leaving her. "Your life of luxury is over. You will earn back every penny you stole by working as a maid. You will not leave this property. You are confined to the estate. Do you understand me?" Elena nodded, looking down. "I understand." As she turned to go to her old room, Raphael spoke again. "Why did you do it?" he asked. "And why clean the bear?" Elena met his gaze. "The bear. Because I saw it meant something to you. I took the money because I was scared of being thrown away with nothing when the deal ended. It was half true, and it hit its mark." Raphael's stern expression flickered. Eleanor's phone buzzed. A text from a blocked number. "Blocked number. Is the dog on a leash?" It was Marco. She texted back. "Yes, but the safe has a code and a fingerprint scanner. It's impossible." The response was immediate. "Blocked number." "Then make it possible. Get his fingerprint on a piece of tape. Get the code. You have 48 hours, or I pay your brother a visit." Panic surged through her. She had to betray Raphael's trust again. Elena served Raphael his dinner, her hands trembling. When he finished his glass of wine, she picked it up carefully by the rim, using a cloth. She had his fingerprint. Later, she pretended to clean the hallway outside his study. She watched through the slightly open door as he opened the safe. Her heart ached as she memorized the code. October 22nd, 17. Matteo's birthday. The guilt was overwhelming. He was a man in pain, and she was helping a criminal rob him. Elena texted the code and the plan to Marco. She would open the safe the next night when Raphael was at a late business dinner. Suddenly, Raphael's voice came from behind her. "Who are you texting?" Elena jumped, fumbling her phone. He looked suspicious. "No one," she stammered. "Just my mother. To tell her I'm okay." Raphael's eyes narrowed. He didn't believe her. "Give me your phone." This was it. She was caught. If he saw Marco's texts, it was over. Her brother would be in danger. Just as she was about to hand it over, the doorbell rang, echoing through the silent mansion. Raphael glared at her. "This isn't over. Don't move." He turned and walked towards the front door. Elena stood frozen in the hallway, terrified. She didn't know who was at the door, but it had just saved her. For now, Who is at the door? Will Marco strike? Can Elena save her brother? Let me know in the comments section. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, like, and turn on your notification button.